Alright guys, so you want to lower IATs or inlet air temps in your Mustang GT. Now what I'm about to discuss is applicable to the new Mustangs as well as the older ones, and I will actually show photos of both throughout this video so you guys can follow along. But first things first, let's go under the hood. Okay. So now that we're under the hood, we can further discuss how to actually lower your IATs. Now, one thing that's very important is that you'll notice that I have the JLT 120mm cold air intake. But the biggest thing about this intake is that it is not a closed box system. The actual top of this is open, and there is a gasket to seal up against the top of the hood, but it really does not work as well as you'd think. And to be honest, this intake will get hotter than the closed box from Ford. If you look down in here, you can probably see it, but there's like a little ducting tunnel that routes air into this airbox, and the stock airbox actually has that as well. I actually still have my stock airbox, so let me go show you guys that real quick and you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. All right, so in my garage, this is the stock airbox. Let me lay it out for you guys. So it's actually really similar to the JLT, and what you'll notice is that the box is a little bit smaller, but there's still the routing tunnel that's going to bring air from your front grille into your airbox. Now, this tunnel is very important, and the modification you have to make to get lower IATs is actually at the front of the grille. Either way, these boxes are very similar. It's just that the JLT and a lot of aftermarket intakes are not going to have the top part on there, which is one of the main reasons why I actually decided to go ahead and do this mod for lower IATs, because when I went to the JLT, my IATs were much higher. Anyways, let's put this back and I will begin discussing the mod itself. Okay, so I had actually brought this up in a previous video, and if you watch all my videos, you'll know what this modification is, but if you have a really keen eye, you can probably tell that there is no grille in this little triangular section anymore. And that is because on the stock car, there is a lot of honeycomb that sits here, and it is very, very, very restrictive. For reference, on the stock airbox, I want to say my IATs on average when just cruising were about 9 to 10 degrees above ambient. Now, with the JLT, my temperatures were about 17 to 18 degrees above ambient. So there was an increase in the IAT temperatures going to this intake. They weren't too bad, but it was about a 7 or 8 degree increase. So people have done this mod before. I can only think of one singular YouTuber who has done this, and it was specifically to a new 2024 Mustang, and his IATs dropped basically to ambient while cruising with this mod, but I believe he had the stock airboxes. He did not have an open airbox. Cutting out the front grille right there, the one thing that I'll say is that my IATs improved by about 10 degrees, 10 to 12 degrees. So I don't see perfectly ambient air for my IATs. It's about 3 degrees above ambient. So let's say the outside temperature is 70 degrees. I'll probably be seeing 74, 73 with the current setup. And again, this is a direct hole all the way to the airbox. Like I can literally fit my entire arm in here and I can like touch the filter. I will throw up some photos of the actual process that it takes to cut this out. It's not perfect and it's definitely not easy to do, but it is free horsepower. And I honestly recommend anyone with these cars to do it if you have the time. And all you really need is like a Dremel tool or some sort of tool to cut out the honeycomb on the backhand side of the bumper. You want to do this from the back because you can cause like scoring and cut marks on your paint if you're not really careful. The other thing I want to touch on is the fact that if you look in here, it's still very dark, and there's actually these inserts that I bought from VelossaTech. It's a company that basically makes a lot of like cold air intake add-ons basically. And the thing is that you don't have to buy these to get the lower IATs, but they look much better because they're much higher quality plastic and they are painted. And the stock ones usually, like for instance, whenever I was installing this front bumper, you could actually see the stock, because again, Ford gives you the little tunnel, right? And Ford does duct air, but Ford does it really bad. There's a lot of turbulence, there's a lot of sharp angles. These are very smooth. Like I'm running my hand on it and there's no real ridges. So airflow will be improved with these ductworks. And the other thing that's important to note is on this side over here, I also have another piece for the ductwork, but this is just for cosmetics only. I mean, this doesn't actually go anywhere, but you have to imagine if you're looking at the car from a far distance, you don't want it to be uneven. There's ductwork there and there. It looks nice and even and pretty, but only that side is actually doing something. After that's all said and done, after you do the installation, you will see your temperatures go down. And I believe a 10 degree difference in IATs is worth about 5 wheel horsepower. I'll pop something up on the screen regarding those statistics or metrics, but I believe it's 5 horsepower. So basically, you know, if you're racing someone and your IATs are 15 degrees colder than theirs because they're running a JLT without doing this mod, and they're getting 15 degrees above ambient, and I'm getting like basically ambient, you know, I'm gonna have more horsepower than them. That is a fact. You know, it's gonna help against heat soak and all the other things. So yeah. Anyways, for the next section of this video, I'm actually going to hop in my car and we're gonna go for a quick drive, and I'm gonna actually go over the differences on the road as well as how fast the car unheat soaks itself. A lot of you guys will know that whenever you let the car sit in like a, you know, a parking lot or a stoplight and it's just idling, it's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. This filter will get extremely hot when the car's not moving and there's not fresh air blowing onto this filter. But with this mod, things cool down much faster. Before we head out on the road, I do want to say this: with the stock airbox, you will get better results, but that does not mean that this mod is unnecessary with the stock airbox. I believe it is necessary with a stock airbox or any aftermarket airbox because it's basically free horsepower and you don't really pay anything. You don't have to buy the air ducts that I bought. You could just run the factory ducting, you know, you don't have to do any of that. It's free horsepower and there's really no downsides to it. Anyways, boys, let's hop out onto the road real quick and I will go over the temperatures that I'm seeing in my car with this mod and the JLT so that you guys can make a decision and figure out if you want to do this mod yourself. Oh yeah, and one quick thing I want to add is Steeda does sell probably the best closed box system you can buy. I will pop up a photo of that system real quick. Honestly, that system paired with this mod is probably the absolute best way to be running this car, but I prefer the JLT. It does make more noise and you can hear my throttle body and my intake from inside my car if I just have the window rolled down. So, you know, what's the difference there? Not much, but if you want to maximize and squeeze out all the potential possible, I would recommend getting the Steeda closed box system as well as doing the grille modification. Anyways, boys, let's hop out onto the road and we'll go over the numbers. All right, guys, so we're currently driving down the highway, and what you'll notice is if you look closely at the top, you can see it says inlet air temp 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So the current inlet air is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you look over here, the outside air is 66 degrees. So right now we're getting a 4-degree difference between IATs and ambient temperatures. That is extremely good, especially considering my airbox is not closed. So what I want to do next is I want to go to a parking lot and I'm going to let my car idle and heat up and make the inlet air temperatures go up to like 130, 140. And then I want to show you guys exactly how long it takes for the car to then cool down back to ambient IATs. And let me tell you, it is a lot faster than before I did the grille modification. Alrighty guys, we've been sitting here for about, I want to say 8 to 10 minutes, and my inlet air temperature is at 158. So let's go ahead and drive out of here and I'll hop on the highway and we'll just see just how fast we can get that to drop. All right, we're now onto the highway. The inlet air has already dropped 100. Look how fast we're seeing it drop, guys. It's already at 125, 122, 120, 117, 114. I mean, it's dropped like 50 degrees in like 45 seconds. Like, I'm not even joking. I was parked in that parking lot. I just pulled directly onto the highway and we're already seeing temps of 100. So I'm telling you guys, this is one of the best mods you can make to these cars, whether it's the 2018 and newer or the 2024. It's free performance, and all you have to do is take your front bumper off and just cut out the honeycomb, and you get way more airflow for free. Now again, I do have the ductwork from VelossaTech. I will leave it in the description so you guys can actually check that out for yourselves. But even without the ductwork, guys, like again, the other guy on YouTube that posted a video regarding this topic, even without the ductwork done, it still drops your temperatures a lot. We've been driving for like, you know, a couple minutes now and we're already down to 85 degrees Fahrenheit on the inlet temps. I mean, we have dropped almost 100 degrees on the IAT after sitting and letting the car heat soak up to like 160 degrees or whatever it was at whenever I left, like a 158 or something like that. as you can tell, this mod definitely does work, and it is definitely worth your time. But unfortunately, I will have to end it here. One quick thing I want to say before this video ends though, is that I actually just ordered Cook's long tube headers for this vehicle. And as you guys probably know from my previous videos, I've been talking a lot about getting headers done. Now that they've been ordered, hopefully they ship and I get them within about a month to 2 months, because they are built to order. And then once I get them in the mail, I will be installing them within a couple of days. I've already talked to a bunch of shops in my area, and I will be sure to do a bunch of side-by-side and back-to-back comparisons, comparing my car without headers and my car with headers. But anyways, guys, that will be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, I am a small creator, so please like, comment, and if you can, subscribe. Thank you. Peace out.